Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm, do it again. I was going to say I'm Gangnam Style, but I'm not.
Salutations, I'm Rob Chapman.
I'm the captain.
And we're at Andertons.
And who's this?
That's Peter.
It's Peter!
From Mesa Boogie today.
From Mesa Boogie, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's here to show us a couple of new additions to the line in 2012, sorry. I'm a year ahead
Which
of myself.
you're a time traveller, start a conspiracy. It's like Charlie Chaplin all over again.
And that's the upgraded versions of the Mesa Boogie Express amplifiers, now called the, interestingly named...
Plus.
Express Plus. Because they plus one it.
Yeah, they plus some stuff. Right, Express Plus. Right, loads of new improvements. New clean channel. They've taken the clean channel from the Lone Star, put that in there, so you get more chimey, clean sounds. You've got a EQ now from the Mark V, which we know for the Mark V, and that's what everybody loves. So this amp's now actually closer to the Mark V for those who would like to buy a Mark V but might not have the means to buy one. They can now get one of these instead because they've got loads of features. From
so this is cheaper than a Mark V?
It's much cheaper than a Mark V, yeah. I don't know what the price is here.
It's probably
Andertons.
£1,000 cheaper than a Mark V.
1,000 English Imperial credits cheaper. That's a lot of Imperial credits.
So go on.
No, I was going to say we always used to sell quite a lot of the Express amplifiers, and it was kind of the amp I think that you had if you were a kind of a cleany blues kind of player, and you wanted a Boogie amplifier because you liked the branding and you liked the kind of look of it, and the Express was always one of the more sensibly priced amplifiers.
Yeah.
But the Plus really has kind of. I don't see it now as just an affordable Boogie anymore. I see the Express as almost kind of like, actually for me, because. For me, one of the things that puts me off the Mark V is the complexity of all the. You know, I think it's
you're completely right.
Mark V is a real Marmite amplifier, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, some people will go, I want to have 1,000 different options, and other people won't. But the Express for me now isn't really like a poor man's Mark V.
No,
it's
not
like
at all.
it's a killer sounding amplifier that's just simpler to use and £1,000 less money.
It's a very practical amplifier because you get so many different kinds of tone within it. You get the clean, you get the crunch, you get the gain, you get so low.
Yeah, and it can give. It's very loud as well. Just for 25 watts, we got 25 watts here. We got a 50 watts over here. 50 watts got 6L6 in it.
And if you're shooting videos, you can dial it down to 5 watts.
You can. You got now multi-watt switching for each channel. You got 5 watts, 25 watts, or 50 watts.
Because that was the original sort of point of the first Express, wasn't it? Is it allowed you to go... there's always been 2 amps in the range, hasn't there? 2 basic amps.
Yeah.
So like a 50 watt 6L6 loaded and a 25 watt EL84 loaded.
Yeah.
And they've always been able to switch down to 5 watts.
Yeah.
So you get a single-ended Class A 5 watt tone.
Yeah.
Or you could up switch it to its higher rating, so either 25 or 50.
Yeah.
Where it goes to Class AB. These now, interestingly, have got like a third, like an in-between, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got an in-between, and it's all in the front, so it's easy to, it's easy to get to. You've got a solo switch as well with the new pedal that is now coming with these amps. You got this is really cool because you got channel switch, you got reverb switch, you got EQ, and you got solo, also from the Lone Star, so you can, or from the Mark V for that matter. You click it, you boost up your signal. You want to clean, boost it up for solo, or you want it on your heavy channel or whatever. You can do that. So it's very much more user friendly than it was before, and there's so many improvements in the amp that it's more or less a different amp. Really, it is a different amp. You still got that sort of easy usability.
So Peter, tell me, there are different speakers in these combos.
There is, yeah. There's the Vintage 30s in this, and the L84 tubes.
Yeah.
And in this one you got a Celestion Black Shadow in there, and you got the 606s.
The Black Shadow is the speaker, if you don't know, that Boogie modify. So it's you can only buy the Black Shadow if you buy. You only get a Black Shadow speaker in a Boogie amp, and it's a modified Celestion to sort of handle more power, isn't it? Sort of stay cleaner, a bit louder.
Every speaker that's in the Boogie amp basically is made especially for Boogie in Ipswich. So they make them in Ipswich, send them to, Pentaluma, put them in, test them.
They're made in England?
Yeah. They're made in England.
The
speakers are made in England, and they get shipped over
to America.
So the heart of a Boogie actually is from England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. And it's very important for them that it's completely correct. That's why they test them, they play test them before that they go out.
So you play a lot of guitar, very well, I might add. In some
dabble a bit.
In some, that's the Danish sort of calming down of my abilities. And you played for X Factor?
I've done some X Factor work, yeah.
And you've done some tours?
Done some tours.
Would you take these kind of amps on tour?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would take them on tours. I use a Roadster head and 4x12 cab. I use a Lone Star. They're very reliable. Everything's getting smaller and smaller these days. So at the moment, not everything, but most things are.
A few of the things that I quite like that I've seen that are different. Well, actually, one of the things that's the same as the old Express series is the 525 has always been the compact cabinet, and the 550 the larger cabinet. So if you're very conscious about how much space the amp's going to take up at home and you just want something kind of neat, then the 525 is kind of cool. The 550 with the slightly bigger cabinet does have a better bass end in my opinion, or a different bass, a more Fendery bass end, doesn't it?
It's the 616 and also it's a bigger cabinet, so you get a bit more.
So
from the
there's not a big price difference between the two. So don't get the idea that it's the idea of the 525 is it's like the cheaper option. I mean, it is a bit cheaper, but that's not the point of it.
Good stuff. Bang.
Some of the other features that I really liked as well, on the EQ that they've brought in, so that they've taken the how many bands is it? Five band graphic off of the Mark V. But if that's kind of too complex for you, whatever, they've given you like a preset type EQ on a pot, haven't they?
Yeah, which is essentially is the V scoop, the boogie scoop. That's where you a preset set that you can dial in, because you got 2 channels and you can have EQ set on both channels. So you can.
That's clever.
But you can only, let's say, you can use the sliders for one channel.
I've done the whole video like this. Hello.
I'll put it down here. I thought you liked it up there.
I don't mind.
So basically, you've got the sliders. You can use one channel, and then you'll have to use the same configuration of those sliders on the other channel. But you can switch them to the preset. So you can have sliders on one channel and presets on the other, or you can have presets on each channel and then dial them in as much as you
have all the EQs.
There's a lot of possibilities with the EQ,
cool.
and the EQ does make a lot of difference to the sound. So if you run it completely without any EQ, then it sounds, sound in one way, it sounds the boogie way. If you hit in that EQ, it'll give you a completely different sound.
I like the fact that these amplifiers go from a really great bedroom tone. I mean, you can get super soaring, saturated lead sounds at really good bedroom, not going to annoy your parents' tone. But then you can take it out and gig the hell out of a venue.
Yeah, because they're loud. Boogie
very
amps
loud.
are loud, and they're just very loud. And that's how they're built. They're built well,
And it was the big, one of the big tonal changes or genre changes for this is that the previous Express model didn't really go past a nice boutiquey kind of drive sound, did it? It did that kind of Carlos Santana-y type sort of boot, but it didn't go rock or certainly didn't go metal, did it?
It didn't go metal at all. It was meant for a different market, and this does.
Because it's got the Mark V type vibe.
EQ, you can get that sort of scoop sound out of it as well. I'll still see it as a blues amp. Like a rock tone, you get to see a great rock tone, a great blues tone. But if you want to use it with a humbug on it, you can, which is great. You get the option,
And we should say, although we're probably just going to spend most of the time telling you about the panel features on the 550, they're identical on the 525. So all the knobs, every setting are the same on the 525. So although you'll hear Peter playing some stuff, so you'll get an idea of how it sounds a bit different, the bulk of the actual mucking around that we're going to do is on the 550. They each come as a head as well, so if head and cab is more your bag, then absolutely you go down that route.
Yeah, and also always try out different cabs. Boogies they try out the head on different cabs, because it will sound different with different cabs.
Boogie branded cabs, though, because they spend hours and hours and hours testing.
And again, you get the speakers, which are Boogie made speakers, and they have been tested with these heads, and that's why it's a great idea to buy that. I know it costs a little bit more money, but you get what you buy for, and it's they make it handmade.
Strictly speaking, you get what you
get
pay
what you
for.
buy
You
for.
get what you pay
You
for.
could get what you buy for.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Did I?
No, but I like that.
You get what you buy.
I like that.
You get what you buy.
for.
Do you know
get
what?
what you
That's
buy.
even better. You get what you buy. Okay. Look at me. No, look at me. Look at me.
I'm on a horse.
I am a horse.
Right, here we go. I'm just going to take you through some of the tones. So, the first channel we're on is the clean channel, and there's a little dip switch on the far left-hand side of the panel that allows me to change the clean channel from a clean to a crunch. So, that's not a foot switchable option, that's just something you have to do from the front here. But what you're hearing now is the clean channel with no EQ, just a little bit of reverb. So, check this out. Sounds good. We'll just show you, actually, whilst we're doing this, the difference between the 5, I don't know which camera to look at, I'm going to go here, 5 or 25 or 50 watt. And it's quite interesting, there's a very noticeable volume jump when you go from 5 to 25. The 25 to 50 is more about a headroom thing rather than a volume thing. So here's 5. Here's 25, it says. So we're back to 5 watt now. What is cool is that you can do that on either separately on each channel. So you can have your clean sound set to say 25 or 50 watts to get you your headroom, and your gain sound set to 5 watts if you want to for maximum gain. So the next switch is, which I can't do from the cool foot switch, but I can do on the front here, is I change the clean sound to a crunch sound. So that's what this sounds like.
Gain on that, you'll get much like just a slight gain on it, you know, re-expert, and then slightly crunch on it, up to a very driven gain sound on the same channel.
Which is kind of cool.
It's all on.
Using the foot switch now, I can change to the second channel, which, like the first one, has 2 modes. We have blues and burn. So I can't foot switch that toggle, but I can change it on the front with this dip switch here. So this is the blues channel.
This channel, the blue setting, is very good with the volume. It reacts really. It's really great, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the burn channel, which is the high gain one, I'm going to switch in. Now what I'm also going to do as well on the burn channel, and I could have done this on any of the other channels, is activate the EQ. Now the EQ we've set to the sort of the classic Mark V V. So what you'll hear is without the EQ, it's going to sound like there's a bit of extra mid-range in there, and then with the EQ it'll go more sort of classic heavy rock. So here we go. Cool. Nice. And I mean that is classic boogie high gain type territory.
It is, yeah. Well, that's where you can choose between the sliders or to have the preset.
Let me do that then.
knob.
So that was the sliders.
Yeah.
And if I go to the preset and turn the EQ in, and I'll just wiggle the knob.
Much more pronounced with the sliders.
It's cool, isn't it? And the last button I've got on the end here is a solo button. The very final control on the right hand side is gives you a little bit of extra volume so that you can just cut across. It is, as with all kind of volume boosts on tube amplifiers, the heavier you're running the tone and the closer you are to your sort of maximum gain and output, the less effect really the solo boost has, because it's just struggling to really do anything other than saturate the amp more. But here you go. So if I put you back on the burn sound, the EQ, the solo should work quite well. So that's without. Sorry, that's with. Just play and that's with.
Dun 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 dun. I've been Rob Chappers.
I've been the captain.
And I've been Peter from Denmark.